I made it to Ivanec in northeastern Croatia in early September, just on time for the wine harvest season. There is probably no way one can cycle through Croatia, especially at this time of the year, without ever trying at least one glass of gemisht, the mix of white wine and sparkling water, which is a popular local drink. So, the question is, how do we get from this to this? The first step is to make sure the workers are well fed and hydrated. Then the grapes are picked and brought to the wine cellar. There, they're separated from the branches . Then comes a bit of pressing . And some more pressing . The must, the liquid extracted from the grapes, is left to ferment together with some yeast to accompany the process. And approximately 2 weeks later, here you go. After the wine harvest, I pursue my bike journey from Ivanec to eastern Croatia. behind me the Ivančica mountain and ride for about 250 kilometers through golden cornfields, following a bike lane along the Drava River until Osijek, Croatia's fourth largest city. As I cycle east and get closer to Osijek, I cannot miss the increasingly more visible scars left by the war that raged in former Yugoslavia in the 1990s. But the worst comes in Vukovar, the Croatian city that probably suffered the most during a brutal siege in 1991. These are not images from a remote past. It all happened in my lifetime. At Vukovar's War Memorial, one can walk past lines after lines of tanks, cannons, mortars, and other deadly weapons used during the conflict. Former Yugoslavia was itself a large producer and exporter of military equipment. But what strikes me the most is that a lot of weapons were of foreign origin and flocked here during the war, as they unfortunately do in other conflict zones today. International arms sales peaked at the end of the Cold War. After decreasing in the late 1990s and the first part of the new millennium, the volume of international arms sales is now again on the rise. In the last 5-year period, global trade in weapons was more intense than between 1990 and 1994, during the war in former Yugoslavia. I will get a taste of what that means in Bosnia, where I'm going next.